The Lahore bus, which lost its way in Kargil, now seems to be heading in the right direction. Pakistan's Chief Executive General Parvez Musharaf, accepting the invitation to visit India, gave credit to Prime Minister Atal Bihari Vajpayee for his statesmanship and his vision, and praised his courage and boldness in extending the offer of direct talks. The General is scheduled to visit India during the second week of July.
The ceasefire was there, it was a good initiative, but it was not well prepared. Similarly, the sudden change, U-turn that Government of India has taken on talking to General Musharaf was also not a well prepared thing. It has suddenly descended upon the people that the government has decided only 24 hours before that they were saying we will not talk to General Musharaf because he is the source of cross-border terrorism. And later, 24 hours later, they decided to send a letter to General Musharaf.
Insofar as support for terrorism is concerned, well, in the past 11 years, Pakistani governments, whether they be democratic governments, whether they be Punjab Muslim League government, whether they are People's Party government of Bhutto, whether they be military dictators, they have all supported terrorism. So why should we only pick on Musharraf?
Just a month away from the talks, both India and Pakistan seem to be busy drawing the agenda for the summit. Analysts feel that while bilateral issues would play an important role during the summit, it is Kashmir that will hold the key to the outcome of the talks. General Musharraf has already suggested that Kashmir ought to be discussed and that he is flexible on any other issue.
In summit meetings, normally there is no specific agenda. Given the background of these talks, as the Government of India has pointed out, that we will discuss all issues including Jammu and Kashmir. So this will be seen as because there is a process in the dialogue. There is a process, there is what India calls the composite dialogue. There are many outstanding issues, including Jammu and Kashmir. And so I think this summit will be more an effort to break the ice.
The Pakistanis would stick to their old positions. Plebiscite in Kashmir, tripartite conference, referendum, and so on and so forth. They have not shifted from that position. They have given no indication that they have any new formula or a new format for talking with India. The Government of India has spelled out in Prime Minister's letter to General Musharraf that they would stick to the Lahore Declaration and the Shimla Conference.
There are analysts who feel that the step to invite Pakistan was a cover-up that became necessary due to the failure of the ceasefire in Kashmir. The ceasefire had been withdrawn because militant groups were not reciprocating the restraint shown by the Indian security forces, and civilian killings had gone up. Meanwhile, General Musharraf has refused to ask Pakistan-based militants operating in the valley to tone down their operations. But taking Kashmir as a bone of contention has led many to speculate whether India is legitimizing a dictator and his open support to terrorism.
Certainly it's a change in our earlier stand, but you see, consistency in such circumstances, consistency need not be a virtue. Meaning the government had a certain policy of not talking to Pakistan, but the view within the government is that the policy now is one of diminishing returns, meaning by not continuing to talk, you'll have to talk sometime. So we think that there is a feeling that within the government that talking at this time will give them certain payoff.
Once the government felt that in spite of ceasefire, the militants went on their murder and mayhem, why not talk to the source of all this militancy, the source of this cross-border terrorism directly? And that is why they decided to talk to General Musharraf directly. In any case, you cannot choose your neighbors, you can choose your friends. And therefore, there was no option.
Even if the initial stage is set for bilateral talks between the two nations, the all-party Hurriyat conference in Kashmir is insistent on tripartite talks. While India has already made its stand clear that all parties within Kashmir will have to talk to its interlocutor, KC Pant, Pakistan has said any attempt to keep away the Hurriyat from meeting General Musharraf might have a negative impact on the whole issue. Most analysts believe that even if the proposed talks do not lead to any agreement on Kashmir, it could be a summit-level meeting that breaks ice.
Given the complexity of the Kashmir issue, complexity of India-Pakistan relations, it is a rather fond hope that some outcome will be there. I do not think there will be any breakthrough, any dramatic development as a result of this dialogue. At the best that can happen is they will decide to meet again, and they will ask their officials or foreign secretaries to restart the negotiation, restart the talks where it was left off in 1997 after the two foreign secretaries had met and decided on a composite dialogue.
After the summit, if the atmospherics are right, we can't predict what the atmospherics will be. I think there will be a resumption of those various heads of the dialogue, including on Jammu and Kashmir, which was stopped because of Kargil. There are several proposals, there are certain issues, there are certain agreements that were arrived at in Lahore, nuclear confidence building measures, very important area. I think these are the issues that will be taken up, along, as I said, with the Jammu and Kashmir issue, meaning this is an optimistic scenario if things work.
Whatever be the declarations and plan of action that emerges from the proposed meeting, many feel the talks would definitely clarify the level of confidence both nations are ready to have on the other. After years of false starts, people on both sides of the border remain hopeful that this time there may be a better chance of understanding than before.